All right, old school NBA fans, self-researched NBA facts. Got another video for you. As always, thanks to anybody who watches my videos, subscribes to my channel. I really appreciate it. This is part 6 in my Hall of Fame video series. Covers the decade of the 2000s. One thing I wanted to say real quick was, look, this stuff is subjective, okay? I went over it with a fine-tooth comb. I didn't have one set of criterias in place. I looked at everything, and it isn't always on paper, and it isn't just the stat sheet, but also the value a player has to their team means a lot. It really does. Like a player like Mark Price, for example, when I did him, four times top 10 MVP. I mean, that's just huge. The voters thought 4 times you were one of the 10 most valuable players in the NBA. That, to me, that's huge. I mean, that's, he also had the 4 all NBAs and stuff, but I mean, that to me is as big as anything, really, as far as like an all-star and all defense, that's bigger in my opinion. But anyway, like I said, not all of it is on paper. It isn't just a stack of accolades. It's got to be the whole ball, the whole body of work. Basically there's just got to be some kind of a feeling. You say the name and you should have a feeling one way or another. And if you're on the fence, then already the answer should be no. But a lot of these guys are tough, like some of them, they could go either way, really. And it just comes down to the smallest things in certain cases. But anyway, so the 2000s, decade that, wasn't that long ago, that was somewhere between 15 to 25 years ago. A lot of you guys who watch this channel anyway would easily have great recollection of it and who the players were and all that. I mean, some of these guys, just retired not that long ago, just got put in the Hall of Fame not long ago. So anyway, the first player on the list I have is Tim Duncan. Duncan obviously played a long time. He played 19 years, from 1998 to 2016. He won 5 championships. I feel like Duncan should have won even more. He should have been kind of like Bill Russell, anchoring championship team, not just championship, but dynasty. And I mean, he never repeated, and the opportunities were definitely there that he could have did something. I think in 2006 wasn't a missed opportunity. 2011 was a missed opportunity. Potentially 2012. There's a couple other ones in there that were just missed opportunities. But, I think Duncan could have had as many as 8 championships. We'd be seeing him in a whole nother light. And it's not like he was a disappointment. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he had an opportunity to be something like that, like a Bill Russell type player. Because he had similar kind of players that Russell did at, various times in his career and stuff. But anyway, obviously, Tim Duncan's a 10-time first-team All-NBA, 3 second, 2 third, 8 first-team All-Defense, 7 second, a 15-time All-Star. He won Rookie of the Year, 2 MVPs, 3 Finals MVPs. He never led the league in any stats, but obviously, he's probably one of the 2 best players of the whole decade. So Kobe Bryant played for 20 seasons from 1997 through 2016. He won 5 championships, 11-time first-team All-NBA, 2 second, 2 third, 9-time first-team All-Defense, 3-time second-team, an 18-time All-Star. He won 1 MVP, 2 Finals MVPs, 2 scoring titles, and averaged 25 points per game for his career. Obviously, Kobe Bryant, he's a top 10 player. Some people that have him outside of the 10, I feel like the reason you do is because you are a big LeBron fan and you want to keep Kobe away from LeBron as much as you can. Or in some cases, even the Jordan fans, or, maybe players, fans that are older and that kind of thing. But the fact is, when you look under the hood, so to speak, and you look at all the details of Kobe's career, I mean, it was eye-opening for me when I did it. And I went through his career with a fine-tooth comb, and he's now in my top 5. And I never would have thought that. I was like, back in top 10, whatever. No, he's top 5. I mean, I used a set of criterias. He's in the top 5. So obviously Kobe no-brainer Hall of Famer. Jason Kidd played for 19 seasons. A lot of these guys played a long time. He played from 1995 to 2013. He has one championship, 5-time first-team All-NBA, 1 second, 4-time first-team All-Defense, and 5 second-team All-Defense, a 10-time All-Star, Rookie of the Year with 5 assist titles. But more than that for a guy like Jason Kidd. Okay, people make the biggest deal about the 2007 Cleveland run. And, oh, LeBron, he carried a bunch of bums to the finals and blah, 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 blah. Well, I wouldn't exactly call them bums. Some of them were actually decent players. I think I did a video, and a lot of those guys, at one point or another, made like all-league, all-star at one point in their career. I know Gauskas was a multiple-time all-star. He led the league in offensive rebounds. I think that year or the year before, in total offensive rebounds, he led the whole NBA. So that's not being a bum. But Jason Kidd in 2002 and 2003, he didn't really have a better supporting cast than LeBron did. I mean, maybe very marginally. And he led back-to-back, finals appearances with teams that, Nets teams that they weren't necessarily great teams either, right around 50 wins, just like the Cavaliers in 07. So I'm just saying he did it twice. And he won 2 games against the Spurs that I thought were even better in 2003 than the 07 Spurs were. They were a little better. But anyway, Jason Kidd, no-brainer, Hall of Fame. Steve Nash. Steve Nash played for 18 years, from 97 to 2014, part of that really good guard class that came out in 97. A good class in general, really. Steve Nash never won a championship, but he won 2 MVPs, 3-time first-team All-NBA, 2 second, 2 third, 8 never All-Defense, 8-time All-Star, 5 assist titles, and 2 free throw titles. And Steve Nash is one of the best shooters to ever play. And when I say shooter, I'm not necessarily talking about, 3-pointers or free throws. I'm just talking about in general, all of it, everything together. Steve Nash, and you look at his numbers, they're remarkable. I mean, he's like 50, 40, 90 career. Great player, automatic. First ballot Hall of Famer. Allen Iverson. AI, played for 14 years, from 97 to 2010. He never won a championship, 3-time first-team All-NBA, 3 second and 1 third, never made All-Defense, 11-time All-Star. He won Rookie of the Year, MVP, 3 steals titles. Iverson, no doubt about it, he's Hall of Famer. Kevin Garnett, this is easy work on these guys. 96 to 2016, played 21 years, 1 championship, 4-time first-team All-NBA, 3 second and 2 third, 9-time first-team All-Defense, 3 second, a 15-time All-Star. He won an MVP, a Defensive Player of the Year, and 4 rebound titles. Kevin Garnett may have had the same career that Tim Duncan did if the roles were reversed. If he was on the Spurs instead of Duncan, I mean, I don't know if they would exactly repeat the same success, but I guarantee it would be similar. They were really similar kind of players. Garnett, no question, Hall of Fame. Paul Pierce. Now, Pierce was a really good offensive player. He played for 19 years, from 99 to 2017. He won 1 championship. He was All-NBA 4 times, 1 second and 3 third, no All-Defenses, a 10-time All-Star. He has a Finals MVP and a career 19.7 points per game. The truth, Paul Pierce, definitely a Hall of Famer. I wouldn't say that he's like, a top 75 player. I would put him, like, if you were going to segment it into, say, like 1 through 25, 26 to 50, and 51 to 75, I think he'd be in that third 51 to 75 group. But still, I mean, he's clearly one of the best 75 players, no doubt. All right, his teammate, Ray Allen, played 18 years, 1997 to 2014, 18 years. He won 2 championships, one on Boston, one on Miami, 2-time All-NBA, 1 second, 1 third. No all defenses. Another 10-time All-Star. His career was 18.9 points per game. He was a career 40% from three on the nose and an 89.4% free throw shooter. Ray Allen, definitely a Hall of Famer. He's another one of these great shooters, no doubt. One of the best the league's ever seen. Probably top 10. Okay, Dirk Nowitzki played 21 years, from 1999 to 2019. 1 championship, 4 first-team All-NBA, 5 second, and 3 third. That's a total of 12 All-NBAs. That's a lot. No all defenses, 14-time All-Star. He's a career 20.7 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, and an 88% free throw shooter. Obviously, Dirk Nowitzki, was a great player. And a lot of people make a lot out of that 2011 championship, and it was a very good run. I'm never going to say it wasn't, but the thing about that run was the only team that had a better record than Dallas was Miami by 1 game. So it wasn't like they were beating teams that were way above their talent level. Not at all. They just beat them all. And I understand the Lakers were 2-time defending champions. I get that. But even the next year in 2012, the Lakers struggled to get out of the first round and got bounced in the second. In fact, I think they got swept by OKC, and that was it for Kobe. Never won another playoff series. And actually, Dirk Nowitzki didn't win another playoff series after that championship in 2011. Never won another series. But he also, blew a 2-0 lead in the finals in 2006 and is the unfortunate author of the worst upset in NBA history as far as record. 67-win team getting beat by a 42-win team. But all things considered, Dirk Nowitzki is a great player. He's got to be right around top 30, I would say. No more than top 35. He's right around there. His defense was suspect at times. I didn't think he was as good a rebounder as he should have been, but he also played a lot from the perimeter. But he was a great shooter. He had that patented, knee extended jump shot, so you couldn't block it. But Dirk Nowitzki, great player. I don't want to disparage Dirk Nowitzki. He was a great player, no doubt. He was one of those Europeans that really launched, this kind of a movement that we've been seeing lately. Ben Wallace, he's an interesting player. His offense is about like a Dennis Rodman. There's not many players that are going to average under 10 points a game and still make the Hall of Fame. There's just not. There's a couple. Well, Ben Wallace played for 16 years from 97 to 2012. Man, that was a good draft class. There was just a lot of guys that came out of that, like Stephon Marbury, Jermaine O'Neal, Ben Wallace, Ray Allen, Steve Nash, Allen Iverson, Kobe. I think it was the 96 draft class, actually. It was the 96-97 season. But, yeah, there was just a lot of great players. But anyway, Ben Wallace won 1 championship, upset the Lakers in 2004. He was 3 times second-team All-NBA, 2-time third-team All-NBA, 5 times first-team All-Defense, 1 second, a 4-time All-Star. He won 4 Defensive Players of the Year, and that's the most ever. Now they've only had that award since '83, but still, so since '83, he's tied for the most. 2 rebound titles and 1 block title. Ben Wallace, no doubt about it. Hall of Famer. Chris Webber. I'd say he had a just slightly underwhelming career. He was obviously great, don't get me wrong. He played 15 seasons from 94 to 2008, but he also, came in after a sophomore year of high school, so he didn't have the super long career, but long enough. Never won a championship. He was first team All-NBA once, 3 times second team, and 1/3. So that's 5 times All-NBA. That's pretty close to automatic right there. No all defenses, 5-time All-Star. He won the Rookie of the Year. He has a rebound title. And for his career, which is why I put him in, 20.7 points and 9.8 rebounds. If you're a 2010 guy for your career, that's Hall of Fame right there. All right, Shaquille O'Neal. This is an obvious, easy one. Played 19 years, 4 championships. He was 13 times All-NBA. 8 of them were first team. He even had 3 second-team All-Defenses, a 15-time All-Star. He won about every award you can win. Rookie of the Year, MVP, 3 Finals MVPs, 2 scoring titles. What can you say? Shaq, Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. No need to think on that one. Tracy McGrady. McGrady played for 15 years from 98 to 2012. He did have some injuries problems that definitely hampered him a bit. He never won a championship. He was 7 times All-NBA, 2 first, 3 second, and 2 third. No All-Defenses, a 7-time All-Star. He won 2 scoring titles. But this is the one here that is just a no-brainer. You got to put him in. Like I was saying at the beginning of the video, now I understand about McGrady, never won in the playoffs, basically. He never won. He always get bounced in the first round, I think his whole career. 6 times he was in the top 8 for MVP. That right there is automatic. Now, I understand McGrady was a phenomenal regular season player. I mean, really, when you think about it, I'm not going to say he was as good as Kobe, but I'm just saying he was not far at all from Kobe at all in the regular season. The playoffs is where Kobe just put a huge gap between him and McGrady. I mean, Kobe is a playoff legend, where McGrady has no playoff resume at all. So, but McGrady still, if you're 6 times in the top 8 for MVP, you're in the Hall of Fame. All right. Another guy who kind of got hampered from injuries, and who knows how good this guy could have been, because when he came in the league, we were in awe. Even better than he was in college, and he was great in college. He won back-to-back championships in college. Grant Hill, 1995 to 2013. 18 seasons. He never was on a championship team. He was 1-time first-team All-NBA, and that was very early on in his career. 4-time second-team All-NBA. Again, all these happened right in the beginning of his career. He never made All-Defense. He was a 7-time All-Star. He won Rookie of the Year, and 5 times he was in the top 10 for MVP, and he's got stats across the board. Points, rebounds, assists, all those numbers are very solid. He's another one of those kind of players, like a stat sheet filler, kind of like a Drexler, a Dr. J, that one of those kind of players, a Scottie Pippen. Grant Hill is a deserved Hall of Famer, but he's a guy that he could have been so much better, and we're never going to know. What a shame. Vince Carter played 22 years, and here's another guy that, the first half of his career, he was a whole lot different than the second half of his career. He played 22 years, never won a championship. He was only 2-time All-NBA, 1 second and 1 third. He never made an All-Defense. He was an 8-time All-Star, Rookie of the Year, and he had 10 seasons of 20-plus points per game in his early part of his career. Automatic, no question, Hall of Famer. Okay, this is where it gets a little dicey. Chauncey Billups. 1998 to 2014, he played 17 seasons. He's got 1 championship. He was 3 times he was All-NBA. He had 1 second and 2 third. That's fine. That's good. 2 times was second team All-Defense. He's a 5-time All-Star. His career numbers across the board are just okay for a point guard. Not as great as you would think. He's a career, though, 89.4% free throw shooter and 38.7% from three-point land, which is really good. Billups is one of these guys that are close, and the NBA is putting in guys, if they win an MVP or a Finals MVP, they're like automatic. Like, I totally expect to see Derrick Rose in the Hall of Fame because he won an MVP. He doesn't deserve it, and it's not his fault because he got hurt, but you watch. For me, Chauncey Billups is a nice player, but is he better than Maurice Cheeks? I don't think he is, and I don't even have Maurice Cheeks in. I'm going no. And, that's fine. Everybody can have, say whatever, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you think Billups should be in. He is in the Hall of Fame. I just wouldn't have put him there. Because once you put in a guy like Billups, you open up the door for the whataboutism. You know what I mean? Oh, Billups is in. What about Kevin Johnson? He was 5 times All-NBA, more times than Chauncey Billups was. What about Mark Price? 4 times top 10 for MVP. That's more than a quarter of all the top 75 players. It doesn't end. And then when you let in a guy like a Kevin Johnson or Mark Price, well, now what about Alvin Robertson? Why isn't he in? He's the all-time leader in steals per game. He's got a Defensive Player of the Year. What about him? And then you let him in, and then, what about Bruce Bowen? And then where does it end? Then it's like, what about Tony Allen? You see what I'm saying? It never ends if you start doing that. So you have to draw a line where it's like, this guy was a star for, at least 7-8 seasons plus. Not he was pretty good for 12 years. That's just not going to cut it. And that's the way I look at Billups. He was very good for about 10, 12 years, but he was never great for any stretch of that at all, in my opinion. Yao Ming only played 8 seasons, 03 to 11. He also had injury problems. He actually had some pretty good stats. Twice he was second team All-NBA and 3 times third team All-NBA, which is really good. No all defenses, 8-time All-Star because they let China vote. His career numbers, though, are 19 points per game and 9.2 rebounds. For a guy his size, only playing 8 years, and some of those were shortened by injury, I just can't do it. And typically, a guy who's an 8-time All-Star, I let him in. But because they let the fans start voting on this stuff, it doesn't mean as much anymore at all. It's just who the fans want to see more than the guys that deserve it. And there's other players, especially in the 2010s, that's very evident. All right. Amari Stoudemire, he played 14 years. He never won a championship, played from 03 to 2016. He has 1 first-team All-NBA and 4 second-team. Never made an All-Defense. A 6-time All-Star. He won Rookie of the Year, and he's a career 19-point-per-game scorer, kind of like Yao Ming. But 4 times he was in the top 10 for MVP. Amari Stoudemire was awesome. I mean, awesome for, a good stretch of years there. When he was on Phoenix, oh, yeah. And then he went to the Knicks, and he got hurt and all that. I want to say from probably 2005 to about 2011, something like that, he was legit. Man, that guy was good. I put Amari Stoudemire in. I think Amari Stoudemire is better than Chauncey Billups overall. And that, again, that's my opinion. If you think otherwise, no problem. All right, Sean Marion, a teammate of Amari Stoudemire, he had a nice career. He played 16 years from 2000 to 2015. He won 1 championship when he was on Dallas. 2 times he was third team All-NBA. And it's weird that the voting was so different between the coaches and the media on some of this stuff. Like the whole Marc Gasol winning Defensive Player of the Year in 2013, all the uproar that caused. Well, listen to that. Okay, Sean Marion was 4-time All-Star. 7 times he was in the top 15 for Defensive Player of the Year, but he never made an All-Defense. That's crazy. It's like he was a really good defender, but just not quite elite. Funny. A career 15.2 points per game and 8.7 rebounds per game. Sean Marion does have a slight case. And again, do I think that Chauncey Billups was better than Sean Marion? I don't. I think they're about the same. I would say those two, all things considered, are about the same. I cannot say definitively one is better than the other. I just can't, and therefore Sean Marion is not a Hall of Famer. But he has a decent case. Jermaine O'Neal played 18 years, 1997 to 2014. He never won a title. He was All-NBA 3 times, 1 second, 2 third. No all defenses. He was a 6-time All-Star. The most improved player, 2002. he was third for MVP in 2004. Jermaine O'Neal had, again, he was pretty good. He had a little stretch of 2 or 3 years where he was really good, but he was never anybody that was, you'd look back and say, oh man, they missed the boat on Jermaine O'Neal. He should be a Hall of Famer. No, he shouldn't. Stephon Marbury played 13 years, no championships from 97 to 09, 2 third-team All-NBAs, no All-Defenses, only a 2-time All-Star, career 19.3 points per game and 7.6 assists per game. Pretty good numbers and all that, but no, Marbury, definitely not a Hall of Famer. No question. Peja Stojakovic. All right. He played 13 years from 1999 to 2011. No championships. 1 second-team All-NBA. No All-Defenses. 3-time All-Star. He did have 2 free throw titles. His career, 40.1% from 3 and an 89.5% free throw shooter. An excellent shooter. He really was. Unfortunately, I just don't see it with Stojakovic. And that's unfortunate. He had a really nice career, but he was never the best player, probably not even second best. I mean, maybe he was second best behind Chris Webber there for a while. I don't know. They had a good, well-rounded team, Sacramento did in those years. Meta World Peace. This guy played 17 years. From 2000 to 16? 1 championship when he was on Kobe. He made All-NBA once. He was third team. Twice made first team All-Defense and twice second team. 1-time All-Star. He was Defensive Player of the Year. 6 times he was top 8 for Defensive Player of the Year. But no, Ron Artest, Meta World Peace, whatever, is not a Hall of Famer. All right, Pau Gasol. Pau Gasol played for, 17 years? 18 years? Anyway, from 2000, I think it was like to 2018. Maybe it was 2017. I don't know why I don't have it wrote down, but he won 2 championships. He had 2 second-team All-NBA, 2 third. Never an All-Defense, a 6-time All-Star. He won Rookie of the Year, and he's a career 17.9.2 rebound. Now, here's the thing about Pau Gasol. If he had these same credentials but did not play with Kobe on the Lakers, I say he's just outside of it. But he was the missing piece that Kobe needed to win the championship. No doubt. He's not winning them without Gasol. Now, I'm not saying another guy couldn't have came in and did just a good job. Sure, they could have. But it was Gasol. And they won back-to-back championships because of it. And that's what I say about Scottie Pippen. There could have been another guy. The team would have been altered somewhat. But I think the Bulls have similar success. But that's not what happened. Scottie Pippen deserves his due. He was vital to their success. I keep saying this in almost every video because I want people to stop calling me a Pippen hater. I don't hate Pippen. I was a Bulls fan. I liked Pippen. I don't really like him as a person all these years later, but just stop overrating him. You know what I mean? He's not is what you guys are saying. Like, oh, he was one of 3 or 4 best players in the 90s. No, he was not. He was a very good player, vital to their success. He had issues on offense. He had a really bad assist-to-turnover ratio. He was a terrible free throw shooter, but he was great defensively. He was one of the great all-time team defenders, no doubt. So anyway, Pippen was what he was. He was an excellent, excellent player. But let's not act like he was, we're going to compare him next to Oscar Robertson. You know what I mean? Or David Robinson. No, Pippen was not on those level. You know what I mean? He just wasn't, He's in right around the middle. That's just where he belongs. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not a slight. Anyway, Pau Gasol's in. Because of what he did, of being Kobe's Robin, embracing that role and all that, they went to 3 straight finals, winning 2 of them back-to-back. Pau Gasol Hall of Fame. Here's a guy who instantly has a Hall of Fame case because of Michael Cooper. Bruce Bowen. From 97 to 2009, he played 13 seasons, part of 3 championship teams. He never made All-NBA. 5 first-team All-Defense and 3 second-team. He never made an All-Star, but neither did Michael Cooper. He does have a 3-point percentage title, 5 top 5, and 3 times the runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year. For me, Bruce Bowen, it's a compelling case. It really is. I say no, but if you compare him to who they have in there now, specifically Michael Cooper. Now, here's a guy who all I keep hearing is, well, he was on the championship. He was on championship teams too. 3 of them. Okay? I mean, I don't know how you can definitively say that Michael Cooper was better than Bruce Bowen. They're almost the same player. I mean, except for Cooper came off the bench and Bowen started. That's the only difference between them. They both were, fairly effective 3-point shooters. They didn't shoot much. They didn't score much. And both were known as being very good, great lockdown defenders. They're almost the same player. So, like I said, you let in this guy, now you got to let in that guy. And then if you let in Bowen, now you got to let in Alvin Robertson. And if you let in Alvin Robertson, you know what I'm saying? It gets stupid. That's why you just can't let any of them in. You want to have just for the most elite players, Anyway, so Bruce Bowen's out. I got Steve Francis here. I mean, he's obviously not a Hall of Famer. I just wanted to fill the box with another player. It was either him or Elton Brand. Either one of them are out. So that's the 2000s. And there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So there's 16 Hall of Famers for the 2000s. So anyway, that's what I got for this video. Please tune in for the last one, which will be part 7, the 2010s. I think I'm going to do one more additional video, and I'm going to go over, comparing decade to decade, and there are some guys that I missed, and I really want to, include those guys in there because I can't believe I missed this cluster of players from the 70s. So anyway, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Thanks for bearing with me this series. I know it's long and all that. But, hope you guys get some value out of it. And, feel free. Tell me in the comments. You agree, disagree. If there's a player I'm not thinking of, that's what I want more than anything. If anybody has a player from any decade that I missed that you think has a really good case, I will look at them and I can make adjustments at the very end and bring them back in. You know what I mean? Especially on the older. I think I'm pretty good from the 80s on. But from the 70s before, it's a little dicey for me, I admit. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. And if you liked it, please hit the like button. Until next time.